Hi everyone, it is Christy Ross with Planted Places. I'm starting again. I just started a live and it's doing it again, okay? Hopefully it's not gonna be weird for me. It's playing two pictures of me on the screen. I will try to ignore it and carry on. So, I'm here Friday afternoon, happy hour starting for most of you, and I just want to touch base one more time before tomorrow is our last day of our Planted Box membership launch. And we are excited for this. It's been a great week. There's been tons of just live events, me going live, talking, answering questions and interviewing people. I've got one more interview tomorrow with Chef Robin Joy, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but she likes to call herself the happy chef, and she's a vegan, but she's all about let's make the most delicious food possible. And she's going to talk to us about, okay, when you're growing the kinds of things you're growing in the Planted Box, what are the really great recipes, marinades, sauces you can make with these herbs and leafy greens that you're growing. So don't forget that's tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and we're going to be doing that on Facebook. We're going to stream it live on Facebook, 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that's exciting. But let me spend probably like 10, 15 minutes here just talking to you about the Planted Box membership and why we're doing this and what you can expect. So here's the thing. Just to start out, one of the reasons why you're probably here is because you are intrigued, because I talk a lot about healthy lifestyles, balanced healthy lifestyles, and doing that through growing your own organic produce. And you're probably here because you are frustrated, because you've tried to grow food and you can't, or you're thinking, I don't think I have the right space, or you're thinking, I don't have time in my life to take on another hobby. I've tried it, it doesn't work, it's too hard. And what I'm here to say to you is that was my problem. I had a business with ornamental walls, living walls. I've always loved gardening all my life because I love it. I love what it does in terms of you spend time on something, you see it come to life and it grows, and it's a beautiful thing, and it makes you feel so good and proud, and you want people coming over and hanging out in your backyard so you can see the beautiful garden that you have. But when it comes to growing food, I've never been able to do that. And I'm very knowledgeable, we all are, about how important organic food is, how it's more nutritious. Now with COVID, we're super aware of the fact that we really actually need to be pretty concerned about where our food is coming from, the safety of that, but then also the nutrient depletion that happens in the food. If you ever notice when you buy something at a farmer's market or even the grocery store, be it Whole Foods or your kind of organic grocery store that you go to, within about 4 or 5 days, those leafy greens, those microgreens that you're buying, they're wilted in the refrigerator. Like it's kind of like you're throwing away this food. And so I really wanted to learn how to do that. And with my ornamental living wall business, I had a client that's like, hey, I want to grow organic food on my planter or my living wall planter you're putting up there. And we tried to do it. And let me tell you, I'll be honest, I failed at it. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. And so I went to work to figure it out because I was like, you know what? I know there's a demand for it and I want to learn how to do this. And what I realized was it's about the soil. It's about the seedlings that you're growing. It's about that structure that you're growing in. And so what we did is I went to work to figure that out. I spent the last year and a half figuring out what does it mean to grow in living soil? And because the soil is extremely important. So earlier this week, we talked with Dr. Tom Wilson. He's soil scientist and water science PhD. And he talked a lot about what are organic fertilizers and what are inorganic fertilizers and what is the difference? And by the way, did you know that they use fossil fuels to create inorganic fertilizers? And those are the kind of fertilizers they use in a lot of farming conventions and hydroponics, things like that. I did not know that. So that was a little shocking. But what we realized is when you figure out how to do this and you get the right formula together, it's actually pretty easy. And so that's kind of the birth of the Planted Box membership, which is let's make this easy for people. Let's walk them through season by season what it means to learn how to grow food and to see the seedlings come to life, learn how to be growing those, learn when you need to harvest. What do you grow at different times of the year? When do you harvest? What do you do once you harvest? So there's only so many salads you can eat, right? And so then it's kind of learning the recipes and what you do with the food that you're growing. All of this is so important. And so we realized that it's a lot more than just saying, oh, go to the nursery and buy a seedling. It's really actually knowing What are the healthy ones? Do I have the right type of organic fertilizer blend? So all of that, you don't have to think about that. We pull that all together for you and deliver that to you. So a lot of people ask, so what does that mean? Like what actually is it going to look like? So I'm going to flip around here on the phone and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So when you first get started, what you're going to do is we're going to be sending you grow pots that are made out of felt, recyclable plastic bottles. And so what that is it's about a half a gallon to a gallon of soil. And the idea here is that it's going to keep your soil moist, and it's also going to not allow the plant to get root bound. So we're going to send you 3 or 4 of these, and we're going to send you about 6 seedlings, and we're going to send you soil, and we're going to give you all those fertilizer mixes so that you have really vibrant, healthy plants. And then we're going to walk you through week by week. Hey, what's going on this week? What do you need to be doing? Those kinds of things. And really what a lot of this comes down to as well is creating habits. So the idea here is, you can imagine now 6 months, 1 year from now, you're going to be sitting on your deck, your patio, your backyard, wherever, and you're going to be you're going to be surrounded by beautiful leafy greens that are basically feeding you. And so you're going to be sitting there and realizing, oh my God, I've got this beautiful garden, I've got this hobby, and now I know what I'm doing. And it actually doesn't really take that much time. And that's why yesterday we interviewed Colleen Heber with Stick Habits, and she was talking about healthy habits. And healthy habits are important because that's really what gardening is. It's kind of a ritual where really what you're doing is you're creating a habit around just going out into your garden, bringing your cup of coffee, cup of joe, and you're going out there and just kind of inspecting your greens and making sure everything's happy and healthy. And when you do that, 5 minutes a day, maybe 5 minutes every other day, you realize that once you're on top of that, they're happy, they're healthy, and they're growing, they're flourishing. So here's something so cool I just noticed this morning. See this guy? This is a romaine. This is all new growth. This was not here on Tuesday. So this is how fast, once these things get settled in and they're going, they just start taking off. So it's just kind of exciting because you kind of see these kinds of things that you're doing. But another part of what we're trying to do is in the kind of line with the healthy lifestyle and everything that we're trying to do is we want to bring professionals to you. So people like chefs, gourmet chefs, people like Colleen, she's kind of like a wellness coach, habit science. She's got a coaching program around that. So these are all things that kind of help you really live that healthy lifestyle, because it's really interesting. Once you start doing this, it's kind of funny how it really changes your life and inspires people around you. So for instance, my son, he's 19 years old, and he never had vegetables or fruit, like literally his entire life, and it's embarrassing to admit because I'm pretty health conscious. And so it was a really like the bane of my existence. And this last summer when I was growing food on the wall in our test gardens, he came out and he was like, well, what are these leaves, Mom? That's literally what he called them. And he didn't realize I can eat that. And so he took an arugula leaf, he ate it, and he was like, oh my God, this is really good. I didn't know this is what this tastes like. I'm like, yeah, they're really good. So now he, of course, fast forward, and he is every day out there getting them for his sandwiches, getting them for his scrambled eggs. And then now he's back at college, and he's living in an apartment because of COVID. He's, in his apartment, studying from home. And he's like, Mom, I want a planted box because my roommates and I, we want to grow some organic produce. And we also are going to give you microgreens as well. And he's like, we want to grow that because we're here and we want to do this. So I'm shocked. So it's one of those things I never would have expected that. And those are kind of the pleasant surprises that happen as a result. But let me back up for a second too to talk about the microgreens and the seedlings that we give you. So, gardening is all about, it is a habit, like I said, but it's also kind of like, it's teaching you, about the seasons and patience and just kind of being at peace of like, what are the plants going to do? And so one of the things with our customers is they get all excited and they want to like right away, like, oh my God, I want to be eating this right away. And so because of that, when I'm like, okay, great, we're going to teach you how to grow microgreens, because microgreens, they grow quickly. They're like 3 to 5 days, and then you can start eating your microgreens. And talk about healthy. Microgreens are probably one of the most, they are definitely a superfood, and they are packed with so much antioxidants, and like they say, like one handful of microgreens can equal like 4 florets of broccoli. So these are things people do not know, but this is why it's so important. It's like, let's give you quick wins, and then let's take you through the seasons and have you grow with us. So People will ask, well, you know what though, it's winter, I don't grow food in winter, what do you do in the winter? So, we have a solution. So we know this because remember, I've been doing this for a year and a half now, really understanding what seedlings, what type of plants do you grow in different seasons. And what we do is to like take something like January, we're going to say, hey, let's learn how to grow mushrooms, because mushrooms, cold, damp, it likes that kind of environment. So let's do that. Certain herbs will grow in the winter. And so let's do that, because come spring, those things are going to come to life, flower. Some of those things they're going to look pretty. They're going to look pretty, and then they come to life in the spring. Pretty in the winter, just kind of sitting there not doing much, start flowering in the spring, which is kind of fun. Ornamentals, there's a lot of fun ornamental flowers, edible flowers that you can eat, that you can grow through the winter. So we'll do some of that. Bok choy, usually you can do bok choy, radicchio, so there's different things that you can, leafy greens you can do. But we will also, because we're going to be doing container growing, we're going to bring in different types of plants that you can't grow on a farm wall, but you can grow in a container. So take something like a tomato. A tomato does grow on our farm wall, but if you can get a larger grow pot, 10-gallon grow pot or something, which we will give you, put a lot more soil in there. Now you can start growing a tomato plant that can get really, really large and really put out a lot of fruit for you over the summer months. So like I said, we're going through the seasons, and we're giving you monthly planting projects for each month of that season that you're going through. So at the end of that, you're joining a Facebook community, and it's kind of, when you think about it, fast forward a year, now you're the expert. When you started, you didn't know what the heck you were doing, and now you're the expert, and you're bringing that expertise to people, which is kind of exciting. The other thing that's just so huge, that, as you can imagine, that our customers will tell us that have a farm wall is, Christy, quite frankly, like I don't want to go to the nursery and try to figure out what to buy for the seedlings. I don't know, because a lot of times you'll go there and the seedlings, you don't know this. If you don't know what a healthy seedling looks like, you're going to go there and pick up a 6-pack, and you're going to go home and you're going to plant it, and then it's going to go to seed, which we call bolting, but it's going to go to seed like in a month, and you're going to be like, well, what did I do wrong? Like it never produced anything, and that's because you started out with an unhealthy seedling. And so a lot of our customers will say, like, you know what, I want to do this because I know I'm going to get healthy seedlings. I know you're going to guarantee it, but then also I don't have to think about it. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be growing. So, and I don't know what tastes good or what it does taste like. So we kind of walk you through all of that. Now we're calling this the Founders Member Launch, because we want you to be part of this. So this is our very first cart that we're opening up for the planted box. We're calling it the Founding Members. It closes tomorrow at midnight. And we want you guys to help us decide, what are we going to grow? What do you want to grow? We know what works for different seasons, so we obviously bring that expertise, but then we want you guys to kind of pick, well, it would be fun to do, strawberries in March. So we'll be talking about that kind of thing. Also, really important, because you're in a membership and we're training you, you're going to be really involved in telling us what you want to learn, right? I mean, I know because I went through it myself, but you know what? I don't know everything, right? And so I need you guys to tell us, so a lot of times you're going to be looking at your leaves and you're going to be like, what's on that leaf? And we can get right. It's really, when you think about it, it's kind of like custom feedback. And that's what the membership brings for you. Otherwise, you're in your garden by yourself going, I do not know what that is. So like just yesterday, I love this example. I was, out in the test garden, and there was a white butterfly flying around. And now that I know what I'm doing, I look at that and I'm like, that is not a pretty little white butterfly flying around. That is a moth that is laying literally hundreds of eggs on my leafy greens. And in about 3 to 4 days, those are going to turn into caterpillars, and they're going to start eating my leafy greens. And so now that I saw that white moth, I did chase it away. I tried to kill it, but I couldn't. But I did chase it away. And so now I know when I'm coming out with my fun little habit of coming out with my coffee in the morning, I'm going to be on the lookout for caterpillars on Saturday, Sunday this week, because I know, okay, it'll be 3 days. Where are they? They're going to be on those leaves, and I want to get them. So these are the kinds of things we walk you through. So very exciting. Other thing I want to say is, a lot of people are like, well, it's just another box subscription. I don't think I need this, or I don't know about this. And you got to really think about this as something much more than a box subscription. Because yeah, sure, we're giving you the convenience of bringing everything together that you need to grow food. The soil, the planters, the plants, all that. We're giving you all that, and we're giving you the intelligence, and we're customizing it for that. We're really kind of bringing in a whole lifestyle, if you will. That's why it's so important. Like the chef tomorrow that we're talking to her about, let's do an online cooking class for our members. So we're going to be growing things like arugula and garlic chives and some other kind of fun things next month. And it's like, let's come up with some cool recipes that are using the things that we're growing so we can immediately put those into meals, yummy meals that we're going to be eating. So it's a lot of those things. The cost of this is this is kind of a, lowest ever. It's $39 a month. That includes shipping of your box, and that's a lifetime price for founding members coming in. So that's like less than the price of a meal out for 2 people, not including having wine. So that's really actually an amazing deal when you think about everything that you're going to be getting month after month. So definitely, you guys, DM me, message me if you have questions, and we're going to be closing that cart tomorrow at midnight. So one more day, because we really only want a limited number of people. We're kind of getting to our capacity, but we want to bring more people in, and it's going to be fun. Come on over to the other side, and we will see you then. Bye-bye, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll be online tomorrow. Again, remember, 11 a.m. tomorrow with Robin Joy, Chef, Happy Chef. Bye-bye.